Welcome everybody to another prison tour episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, today we're going to be jumping into a notorious California prison. But it ain't what you might think, alright? A lot of people know that when I say notorious, chances are that prison's had a lot of bloodshed. But this one's notorious for a totally different reason. Valley State Prison in California, nicknamed Prisneyland. Why would they blend prison and Disneyland together? It's because this place is just as sweet as the theme park. I'm just playing, man. But look, it is sweet for a prison. When I say sweet, meaning it is very nice, safe, cozy. You can do your time probably without ever looking behind your back in this prison. So let's get right into it. If you enjoy this type of content, all things lockup and crime related, then this is where you want to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And check out my playlist with many more videos and prison tours for you to start watching today. Alright, here we go. Valley State Prison, aka Prisneyland. And I'm not gonna lie, with this overhead view, I know exactly what ride I'm going to first.
From a distance, it's exactly what you would expect. Big fence, barbed wire, and of course, gun towers, like a prison postcard or something.
So it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're about 10 minutes away from going inside to Valley State Prison, supposedly one of the most progressive prisons in all of the country. The nickname is Prisneyland, although from the outside, it looks pretty standard.
Just imagine if every prison was super progressive like this, man. A lot of people probably wouldn't mind going back. I feel as though a lot of violence and strenuous situations is what keeps them at home in the living room playing that PS5. They don't want to go back, but if it was like Prisneyland, trust me, many more people probably welcome the opportunity to head back there.
From the outside, it looks pretty standard, but we'll see what the inside looks like. Let's go. Thank you.
Typical sliding
Right inside,
gates.
not much difference.
This is the deadly high voltage electric fence, apparently. Obviously, don't want to touch this.
But the more you get to know Prisneyland, which officials say some locals refer to it as, you realize the first barriers coming down aren't actually physical.
The greatest achievement of the human spirit is to live to one's potential and make the most of one's opportunities. Hey, imagine walking into the penitentiary and seeing that. Not to mention that beautiful beach painting. I'd ask the CO where's the warm milk and cookies, man, to go with all this. Nah, but look, even in dangerous, violent prisons, they got beautiful murals on the wall. Or quotes that could seem very nice, but no one in the whole prison's living up to them. All they're doing is gutting and extorting, you know what I mean? So, don't let the paintings and the quotes fool you.
Barriers coming down aren't actually physical.
And as we were talking, we don't really call them inmates here.
Incarcerated individuals.
Incarcerated individuals.
And that's where the differences between this prison and others around California just begin. When people get out, they have extreme difficulties finding a job. And while the data varies state by state, about half end up back in custody within a few years. All of that is why officials say the Golden State is trying to move in a new direction, starting a pilot program at 2 facilities with the goal to replicate the results in Scandinavia, where Norway says reforms over the last 2.5 decades have brought down the rate of reoffending within 2 years to only 20%.
As you can see, they're getting their little model of prison structure from Norway. But this is why I think numbers from another country don't mean nothing to ours. I can almost guarantee the gang life and the type of individuals over there in Norway is a bit different from us. Everybody has a different way of life and where they grew up. You know, I'm pretty sure that over there in Norway, there ain't too many boroughs or gang-filled neighborhoods. You step in there with the wrong colors, you're getting shot. But I could be mistaken. There are violent, despicable individuals everywhere on earth. I'm just saying at whole, I don't think that they can really make it like Norway, even with the same kind of prison structure, because the inmates are totally different. Just my 2 cents though. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below.
Much lower than here in the U.S. They've also decreased the prison population significantly and have helped people reincorporate into society after they serve their time.
You have a key to your own cell.
Yeah, everybody has their own key.
Authorities here say the most important thing they're trying to change at Valley State Prison is how it feels.
This is the central courtyard.
Yeah.
I feel very peaceful just looking at it.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Am I recording? You're on, man.
Officials told us the only way to truly understand the reforms is by coming and experiencing them.
One of the principles of the California model is normalization, and the idea is we want to make the environment inside our institutions as normal as possible, with the goal of not releasing somebody who's institutionalized, but releasing citizens back to the community who have practiced normal pro-social behavior.
All right, let's backtrack it just a second here. They have their own key to their cell. I mean, every prison, if you're to ask me, should have this. You would never have to worry about someone running up in there stealing all your stuff. I can't even imagine being in prison and not worrying about a thief. But at the same time, man, some of the prisons I've seen, lock or not, as soon as you get to your door to go into the cell, some guys will be sitting right there. Open up the door, bro, and give me everything you got. Or else, we'll skin you alive right here and then take the key and open it ourselves. Right? Which one you gonna take? So, I don't know if the key is that helpful in many situations that I've seen, but it would help, I think, in the long run dramatically. Also, as you can see, it looks like they have some kind of auto mechanics school, which is amazing. You know, you don't get that very often in prison, and if you do, there's a waiting line from here to Kingdom Come. And keep this in mind as well. If you're a violent offender, you ain't getting none of this. If I were to guess, ain't not one of these guys in here for a violent crime. If so, I'd be completely surprised.
Of not releasing somebody who's institutionalized, but releasing citizens back to the community who have practiced normal pro-social behavior.
What about the argument that somebody might see this and say, well, isn't part of the goal punishment in some way?
Oh, there you go.
Why give them all of this nice stuff?
So I would say that people go to court to be punished. That's up to our judges and our juries, and when they come into our institutions, our goal is to basically help them become better citizens. So with that in mind, we are not in the punishment business.
Wow. So, did any of that make sense to y'all? The courts are here to punish them and sentence them to prison. But over here, when they finally arrive in prison, we're not here to punish. Makes absolutely no sense. But I understand where he's coming from. Okay, trying to make these guys into normal, law-abiding citizens and to go back into public feeling normalized. Not like some people, they'll come out of prison, go to a Cracker Barrel and see all the knives and forks and say, man, I could kill everybody with all these shanks. Right? They want you to go out to the streets feeling like you've never been locked up. And I understand that. Like I said, you make it too sweet for people, they will guarantee be coming back.
We're in the rehabilitative business.
Damn,
Big part
VR.
of that rehabilitation, a wide array
They got VR concerts, horseback riding. What's this in the bottom left corner?
of programs where the population learns a variety of coping and calming skills.
And she is a good horse.
Did you know you were
Wow.
going to be grooming horses in prison?
No, to be honest, I thought I'd be stuck in a cell, maybe a few rehabilitation groups, but
I would absolutely love to be taking care of a horse in prison. Man, I don't think y'all understand. I love petting those horses' lips. Things get to wiggling. Look, I remember my buddy. He was a rich buddy of mine. Believe it or not, his dad was into the politics and things. Richest friend I probably ever had. But he was my best friend's cousin, right? So we surfed all the time together, and we would go back to his house sometimes and have a good time. And one of my favorite things to do, he had a horse in the backyard. Yeah, a horse. So I would try to feed him. And one time I didn't know he had like a little thing on his leg because the horse was injured. And I was, trying to feed him and I was getting him to run with the injured leg. And the lady came running out the house. Who got that f***ing horse to run? I dropped that hay and walk away. I think that was the last time I ever went to that place. But good times, man. I love that horse lips. So I'm definitely backing this idea. I'd hop on that jank and ride right out the walls.
it helps me, cope with, a lot of stresses I deal with, day to day here in prison.
Those
The hope
glasses
is that creating
are
a more
progressive.
positive environment makes the men locked up here more willing to rehabilitate.
They got Halo servers in here? Jeez. Oh, man. Sign me up. I'm just playing, man. It's probably like some questionnaires for math or something. I don't know. They got panels on the side like them SOLs. Can't be rubbernecking nobody. But man, looking at all these wires like this is getting me a little panicky. They need to get an IT guy in there to straighten shit out.
Rehabilitate. Of the total incarcerated population of 3,000 here, the prison says 2,400 are enrolled in training or education programs, including high school and college.
This day is the first day of the rest of our lives. We can start our day at any time.
When you came in and you saw what this was, what was your impression?
I thought I was going to come to prison and get worse, but coming to prison actually saved my life.
Wow. Say that again.
Coming to prison saved my life.
Since they started running these programs in 2017, Valley State Prison says it's reduced violence compared to other peer facilities.
And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I used to say that all the time, man. Prison saved my life, but that ain't what saved me. It was me, myself, and my good father above that gave me the strength to say no to all that bullshit that can land me back. If you don't want it and you don't mind going back here, you will go back.
According to reports from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, prisons across the state have seen between 15 and 32 homicides total each year between 2017 and 2021.
Yeah, and also let me say this, since we're in the California side of things, don't let this prison fool you. Go type in recent inmate on inmate homicides and see how many of them are coming from the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation.
Valley State, 0. And only 1 recorded assault or battery against staff versus the hundreds at other facilities.
Get in the middle, you guys are going to circle me.
One of the most successful programs is dog training.
Hate to stop it already, but you heard what he said. There's no deaths at Valley State Prison, but you didn't mention something. How many of the inmates in that prison have violent crimes? If I were to guess, probably like 2%. And they're old heads that done proved theirself over the last 20 years that they can be trusted enough to be in a prison like this. They ain't gonna put no young buck gang member killers in this prison. If they do, they picked him for a certain reason. So those statistics and numbers to me is a bunch of bullshit unless you put every kind of offender in that prison, and then it comes out to 0.
Inmates working with puppies to become service dogs, eventually sent to help people across the country.
I love this,
For a long
though.
time, we were releasing
Love it.
Citizens back into the community that had not improved their thought process. They had not rehabilitated from their behavior, and they go out and reoffend. And so when you start to introduce rehabilitative programs, when you start to introduce hope.
What? Bro, I'm trying to get greased up. What is that, a pedicure, manicure? I don't know which one it is where they touch up the face and stuff, you know, get all those stress wrinkles out. They got it in this prison, though, man. I wonder if they do Brazilians. Probably right before you leave. They know the old ladies like them. This is crazy.
You really are transforming their thought process.
We followed a few of the dog trainers back to their cells. The doors lock from the outside, but they look a little more like something else.
Feels like a dorm.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Did you expect that when you came in?
No.
So right now we are walking your dog past the pool table.
Oh, man. Y'all knew I was going to pause it on this. Pool tables, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. I was in a prison with one. Deep Meadows, when it was a reception camp. Now it's a full compound, but I've seen some guys get cracked with a pool ball, I'm trying to tell you. Not to mention they had horseshoes, volleyball, weight pit. I mean, it was sweet money, and the yard was connected right to the dorm, so you could walk out anytime you wanted if it was unlocked. Never forget that prison. At the same time, it turned into be a violent one.
Back to your spot in prison. That's pretty wild. So is this like the dog wing? It almost feels like to a lot of people that might watch this that
They're too easy on it.
yes.
I would say no, because a lot of us worked our ways down.
Sure.
So I came from a higher level, and it took me 7 years to come down to this.
People
See that? He came from a higher level. It took him 7 years of good behavior in the system being able to trust him to accept him into this program. Meaning his bed was made, he was in pod when he was supposed to, he never got into any altercations for 7 years. Yeah, you've earned yourself a spot in this place, my friend.
that are going to see this and say, shouldn't prison be a punishment? In some way. It should be reformation too, but it should also be, it should suck, right?
Yeah, so
this doesn't suck.
It does suck.
It does suck. Okay, tell me why.
It does suck, right? I don't get to hug my family.
Right.
Would you rather want somebody coming out and getting reformed, or somebody coming in and getting out the same way they came in, or worse?
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A closer look into Valley State Prison, a.k.a. Prisneyland. Not gonna lie, man, that place does look pretty sweet for a prison. And even though you heard everything that I said about the place, I still think it's a good thing. I think the biggest struggle for this facility is trying to find the proper inmates to participate in these programs. Because a lot of guys, even though they stay out of trouble or seem to stay out of trouble, once they get put into a place like this, they go buck wild and they end up getting in all kinds of trouble because they got freedom, a little more freedom than the last prison. Like I said, classification or whoever is screening the hell out of them. before they allow them into this prison. Try everything that they're doing right here in Corcoran State Prison. Let's see how it goes. But anyways, if you enjoyed, like I said in the beginning, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And let me know in the comment section below if you agree. Making a prison too sweet will keep people from actually learning their lesson. Gotta have a perfect balance there, you know what I mean? So I'll be looking forward to hearing y'all's input. Until the next time though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and more importantly than anything, stay free.